Hi, everyone. Welcome to the weekly Twingate office hours, where we look at various security challenges and how Twingate can help you solve them.
Hi, my name is Ermul, and I'm the Principal Product Specialist at Twingate. If you're not familiar with Twingate, Twingate is a zero-trust networking platform that allows you to securely access all of your internal resources without using VPNs, whether they're in the cloud, on-prem, or at home. Each week, we look at cool ways to use Twingate.
And my name is Shri, and I work as a DevOps content manager here at Twingate. And this week, we're going to talk about deploying Twingate more easily. So, Emerald, how have users typically deployed Twingate before?
Well, most of our users will sign in through our web-based admin console. And once they do that, they can see a guided set of deployment options where we'll take them step by step through what they need to do to deploy a connector.
Okay, got it. And what about infrastructure as code options, like Terraform? Does that help?
It absolutely helps. We support both Terraform and Pulumi. We'll cover Pulumi in an upcoming episode. But the thing about these tools is whilst they make it easier to manage Twingate or any infrastructure in the long term, they do have higher overhead for the initial setup. So there's certainly opportunities to deploy Twingate and any infrastructure without using those tools if you're interested in just trying out the service.
Okay, that makes sense. And so, what's the fastest way for customers to deploy Twingate if they want to try it out today?
Well, we've recently made some updates to our open source CLI tool. And using this tool, it will automatically guide you through deploying Twingate to a number of cloud providers, including AWS. It integrates with the AWS CLI tool to give you a way of deploying without making any mistakes, without having to copy and paste. And basically, you can get a connector up and running within a couple of minutes.
Okay, got it. That makes sense. And Emerald, do you mind showing us how that works?
No, absolutely. Let's take a quick look with a demo. Let's take a quick look at how we can deploy Twingate connectors easily using the Twingate CLI. So if I flip over to my AWS network in my Twingate tenant, I see that I have a connector here, and this is the connector that I'd like to deploy today. Normally from within our admin panel, you have a number of options that you can use to deploy. So for example, if I wanted to deploy using AWS EC2, I would click that, I would generate some tokens, and I would have to input this information, including region, subnet ID, etc. There is another way, and it has some advantages, so we're going to look at that today. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is take a look at my AWS. I can see that I have a VPC here in the US West 2 region, and actually this particular one, project VPC, is the one that I'd like to deploy a connector into. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go fetch our Twingate CLI. It's available at our GitHub repository. You go to the releases page and you download the package for your platform. Once I've done that, I can install that, get that set up. There is another prerequisite here. I need to have AWS CLI installed. So you can see that I have that installed and set up. And once that is up and running, what I need to do is run a tg deploy. Let's just do a help on that, --help. You can see right now we support AWS. We are adding more pretty quickly, but we're going to deploy into AWS today. So let's do deploy AWS-help. We can see that this tool supports deploying both EC2 and ECS Fargate connectors. I'd like to actually do an EC2 connector today. So we'll just run that again with EC2. And once this runs, it actually interfaces with the AWS CLI on the machine. Presents me a list of options. So once again, I want to deploy in Oregon, which is US West 2. So I just scroll down. There we go. Hit return. Now it's going to query my Twingate client for the list of available networks. So I'm going to choose my AWS test network. That's where I would like to deploy. And it sees that there's one connector there that's not deployed called Bronze Hippo. So it's going to select that one. And now it's listing the VPCs in this region that I have set up. So I'm going to select Project VPC. You see here that so far, all I've had to do is use the up and down arrows on my keyboard just to select some options. So I'll select Project VPC. And now it gets a bit more interesting. It asks me which subnet to deploy into. With our connectors, they do require outbound internet access to be able to connect back to Twingate and provide that remote access. So there's two ways that that can work. One is via the use of an internet gateway that you see here. The other is via the use of a NAT gateway. The difference is NAT gateways allows all of your instances to share a single public IP address, and it provides outbound access. So that's access from inside your subnet to the internet using one IP address that acts as the exit IP. With an internet gateway, however, that there is no IP address available on the gateway itself. Rather, every instance that you begin to provision will have to have a public IP if you want it to have internet connectivity. So this CLI tool is calling out the difference. You'll see that it won't actually let me scroll up and down because the internet gateway is the only option. And when an internet gateway is detected, then what it will do is it's telling me that it will actually set up a public IP, elastic IP for me to use. So I'm just going to select this option. It will also present me the option to set an SSH key. So let me set a new SSH key, and I'll call this Twingate Connector Demo. It will download the key to my machine, save it in my local directory with that name, and then it will create the EC2 instance for me right away. It gives me the instance ID, the private IP, the host name, and the security group. So let's go take a quick look at our EC2 console and see if we can find this instance ID. Here we are. Twingate Bronze Hippo. We can see that it's running and it's been set up just as we have asked. So now we go to our Twingate connector. In the admin panel, we're going to wait a couple of minutes for the lights here to turn green. While that's happening, I think it's worth talking about some of the other options that we're building into this. We want to add the ability to deploy into Azure, GCP, and other providers. You can see that the connectors come up very quickly, and actually it's printed the outbound exit IP, the elastic IP in this case, of our connector. So right away, we're able to get a connector spun up, and the system was able to prevent me from selecting, for example, a subnet that wouldn't work and prevent me from making any mistakes. So I hope you've found this video very useful. And just a pointer again, if you need to get our CLI tool, it's at github.com/twingatelabs/tdcli. Click on the releases tab, and it's available for Linux, Mac, and Windows. So I hope you enjoy using it. I'm looking forward to any feedback.
Okay, awesome, Emerald. That was super helpful. Well, thanks again, everyone, for joining us this week. Hopefully you found today's show useful. Please feel free to shoot over any follow-up questions to us or any topics you would like to have addressed in future weeks. And see you soon.